Good evening and welcome to the Highland Activity Center and another edition of Coach's Corner Activity Network on this Wednesday night, our final show of 2021. We're going to take the next couple Wednesdays off for the holidays and then be back on January 5th, 2022 to get started for the second half of the new year. And we are joined by Johnny Tobler joining us to start things off from the Valley City Gymnastics team. Coach, how you doing?
Doing well.
Well, we haven't had any meets since the last time we chatted. A lot of practice time now, a lot of time in the youth sports complex getting ready. We've got a big meet Friday night here in town, and a team got added late. Pretty good team got added to the lineup here for Friday night.
Yeah, good team going against Dickinson, Jamestown, and then Grand Forks, I believe it is.
Yep.
So we've got you got the top three teams in the state there. Going to be exciting. I my initial plan was to surprise the girls because it was a late ad. I didn't want them to know. I wanted to see how they responded to Dickinson walking in the door, and how do you deal with that, And but they found out yesterday, and so they're getting prepared. They're excited, a little bit nervous, and all the right emotions that you should have. Obviously, I'd like them to be a little bit more excited than nervous, but. It's going to be a big meet. It's early in the season, but, the tension's going to be there. We're all going to feel it, and I think we all know, what's at stake and what's probably going to take place toward the end of the year. So.
And it's kind of like, you hear in sports, the old cliche, it's not how you start the year, it's how you end the year, and you're peaking at the right time of year. This is your second meet of the year. You're not, right. You'd love to go out there and score 150.
Right.
But what is your, I guess, objective or your expectations? That's what I'm looking for here for Friday night.
Yeah, really good question. I don't want them to feel rushed, like they have to, put in the skills that we've been working towards. There's some skills that we're on the fence with. I don't want them to feel rushed and, think they have to throw that and be uncomfortable with it. So my expectation is not that everything's there, but really that they go out, do their best, and then really just seriously evaluate whatever happens, evaluate and, kind of weigh what they need to do individually and what they need to do as a team to put us in position to win at the end of the year. So whatever happens, I don't care if we lose by 5 points, win by 5 points, if we tie, I just want them to go away and reflect on what, took this with, the team score, individual score, and say, okay, this is what I got to do. And then from that point on, make sure that they outwork both teams as we approach the state meet.
I think you've said this before, and it's, control what we can control. The controllable. You can't control what Dickinson does. You can't control what Jamestown does. You can't control. You control what we do. So are you thinking, don't worry about what their score's doing and what's happening when they're doing a routine. Just focus on your own. We'll see what happens at the end of the night.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And that's my goal every meet, especially the big meets. You all you can control is your routine and how you respond to your routine, right? Whether good or bad, I don't want them, getting too excited, jumping up and down, hooting and hollering. I don't want them, pouting and hanging their head, When you're done, finish, salute the judge, and then look to your teammates and say, okay, who's next? Let's go. And if you hit the meet or if you hit the routine, that's great. Okay, my teammate's up. Now you hit it, right? If you miss it, okay, now pick me up, teammate. Mm-hmm. That's the kind of mentality I want them to have. And ignore what's going on with Dickinson. Ignore what's going on with Jamestown. We gotta focus on what we're doing, and it's hard to do, But I think if I'm about where we're at, we're gonna need to improve and keep building after this meet, with whatever happens. Even if we say we win the meet, I think we need to have that mentality and just know, okay, that's great wherever we're at, but we've got some building to do and some work to do before the end of the season. So.
Would you say to them, or is this in your thought process to try to let them know, okay, let's say they look out of the corner of their eye and see a Dickinson player doing a routine, a Dickinson gymnast doing a routine. She may not do that exact same thing down the road in March at a state tournament. So what she's doing now, you're probably won't see again, and it might be something different. And same thing for us. So you're going to have skills in your routines that you probably won't use down the road because you may add a few things or subtract. Is that a proper statement?
It's a proper statement, and it could be strategy, what do we throw? What do we put in this meet? You know, would it be strategic for me to pull some skills back just for that very reason? You know, you could do that. You know, I'm not thinking that far ahead and not really. You know, I guess I'm more confident with where our girls are at and what they're capable of doing. To have to play games like that.
Mm-hmm.
Where, you know, I might say that different, you know, later
down
the road.
Yeah.
But, you know, one thing for sure, whatever happens, our mentality has to be, okay, we have to outwork them, right? We have to outwork them from this point to the rest of the season. And it might be like, not only do we have to outwork them, but outwork them by a lot. You know, we just don't know. So that's what I want them to take away. It's just, that's, and respond well. Don't, you know, if you say we win the meet, don't get too excited, you know, because like you said, we don't know what they're throwing or what they might add, right? So don't get too excited, you know, just go about the season knowing, and the good thing is that I've given them, they have their score, their skill set that they know they have to have by state, right? The start of the summer, we set that out, we laid that out, and I said, do you agree to that? Can we expect that? Yeah. And they're going to do that, and that's, you know, that's the beauty of, you know, the sport, is that you can know that is, to a certain extent, you can control your own destiny, right? If we do that and come to state prepared like that, you know, we go out of there and control our own destiny, and that's kind of the mentality I want them to get. Hopefully that'll free them up from getting all excited and nervous, you know, knowing that, okay, it's just about what I do with this routine, you know, and then can I move on if I miss this routine at state? Can I gather myself and move on to still contribute in this way? You know, because that's a challenge. So.
And then you turn around and you have another one right away again on Monday.
On Monday, we get the blue and white meet with Jamestown. I love that meet. I wasn't sure what I thought about it coming here last year, but it's really a fun meet. It's fun for the girls to just relax. There's not a whole lot of tension. They can have some fun. And you tend to see the scores go up a little bit because they're kind of it's like a practice. It has a practice feel to it, right? Mm-hmm. So I like that meet. We'll keep that as long as I'm here. I love it. So it's early in the season. It gives the girls some freedom, it seems, you know. Whereas Friday, there's going to be some tension, no doubt. Yeah. You can't keep that from happening. So,
if in the blue and white, if memory serves, you kind of mix the teams together. Is that kind of what's done?
Yep. We'll take their scores where the gymnasts are at, and then we evenly divide them up, and there'll be 4 teams, and then those teams will compete against each other.
Okay.
And they obviously you announce the scores of those teams, but then it does still count towards our average throughout the season because we take our girls and come up with the team score as well. But so that's fun. I'm excited for that, and. Yeah, I just love the camaraderie that we have with the Jamestown gymnasts, and what they're doing there is great. What we're doing here is great. So it's fun to come together and, you know, just early in the season, testing where we're at, seeing where we're at, and giving them the opportunity to kind of go out and have a little fun, and but you know, a little bit of fun with a little less pressure, a little less tension, I guess.
5 o'clock on Friday. Things will get started at the U Sports Complex.
Yes, sir. 5 o'clock. You know, we want to get pack that place. So, you know, come and watch. It's an entertaining time. We got some big skills going there. You're going to see some big stuff. The atmosphere is very exciting. So come and cheer us on. And absolutely.
Easily, you probably have 3 of the top teams in the state, if not the top 3 teams in the state.
Yeah, you know, I mean, outside of some injuries or other goofy things happening, these are the top 3 teams in the state, without a doubt. And it will be entertaining, high skill level. You know, you've got a couple athletes that are training, you know, for level 10 USA. So you've got, and that aspire to be collegiate athletes. So it's, you know, that's, we're not doing a bunch of somersaults, forward and backward somersaults here. We're doing some big stuff, and it's going to be an exciting atmosphere.
Not a twist and turns.
Right.
All right. Well, again, it'll also be on the Highline Activity Network, and we'll remind folks how you can watch it here on Friday night. But we want you to get out there and get to the sports complex and watch it. It'll be fun meet. Starts about 5 o'clock on Friday night. Good way to get ready for the holidays and get into the holiday season. And then, of course, blue and white meet on Monday night. That, too, I believe, will be around a 5 o'clock start time on Monday night. But first things first, Friday night, 5 o'clock, Dickinson, Jamestown, Grand Forks, and Valley City.
Yeah.
And it should be a fun night.
Yeah, roll train.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right, John, thanks again, and good luck to you.
Thank you.
That's Johnny Tolber, head coach of the Valley City Highlander gymnastics team. We'll be back with more Coach's Corner from the Hack here on the Highlander Activity Network. Back here at the Hack in the Valley City, the Highlander Activity Network, and Coach's Corner, our final Coach's Corner of 2021. And now we're going to head over to boys basketball. Coach Alex Quist joining us here from the Highliners. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Fantastic. The holiday season is upon us, and we'll talk about what's coming up and what's gone past. Fargo North, the first game I want to talk about, up there against North High. Led at halftime, had a pretty good first half. I want to say 36 points, 39 points in the first half. What did you like about the way you guys played in the first 18 minutes?
There were a lot of good things, a lot of good takeaways. Number one, we just played hard, right? But we did a really good job of being disciplined on offense to where we've continuously preached that we're a good three-point shooting team. And so the three-point looks that we want are the inside-out ones where we get the ball inside, we're pitching it out for open threes, and we did that, right? I think we shot 60% from three in the first half against North, right?
Yeah.
Do I expect us to shoot that well all the time? No, but just the quality of looks that we were getting, we're going to hit a high percentage of those shots. So when we consistently do those things on offense, getting paint touches, and then kicking it out for open shooters, we're going to be able to put points on the board. And then on top of that, we gave up a lot of offensive rebounds, but we did actually do a really good job of putting effort forth in our box outs. I mean, I had guys flying around looking for kids with Spartan jerseys to go hit.
Yep.
So that was good to see.
Yeah, second half, North comes up and plays a little bit better, and I think got 52 points in the second half, and 183-66 final score. But four guys, I think, in double figures for the Highliners on Monday night. You're getting that balance. Are you liking the score, at least in that game, and the balance you're getting from your guys right now offensively?
Yeah, definitely. Now, obviously, Adam's been playing out of his mind here these last three games. He's scored over 20. And we've needed just about every one of those too. So, but yeah, I mean, right behind him, it's been different guys each game too, and that's what I expect from our team. Honestly, just the way that we play. I'm hoping that as the season goes on, a couple more people maybe step up into those, those next roles as far as consistently giving us points. But when we've got so many kids that can shoot the rock, well, sometimes it just depends, okay, which guy is going to have a defender that's going to be sinking in, who's just going to be in the right spot at the right time to get those open threes, because realistically, I think most of our guys are going to consistently knock down open threes.
I could see 4 or 5 guys on the squad that are 8 to 10, 12 points per game that could give you that on a consistent basis. You're going to be scoring 60, 75, 65, 70 points a night, and a lot of times you're going to be in games, if not win games like that, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely. And even you look at a guy like, Carson's coming off the bench, and, he had that one game against Devils Lake where he scores 16 points. So it's not even just those, 4 or 5 kids that can score consistently those points. It's any kid that's playing in our rotation right now, any one of those kids could score double digits any night. Yep. It's just a matter of, are they going to be getting the open looks tonight or not? What's the defense going to be taking away? What are they going to be giving us? And are we able to get the ball in the paint? There's a lot of moving pieces, but yeah, we definitely have a bunch of different guys who can put the ball in the hole.
Zach Sikora, I think, came up with 11 against Davies, and he was down low. He's a guy that is going to be posting up a lot of the times because he's a strong kid. He'll take a hit. He'll give out a hit if he needs to. Is he one of those guys, too? You look down low that, if he can consistently get that 12, 15 points, because he could do that in the paint and be that post player, that post presence if you need it.
Yeah, and honestly, he's a really selfless player, too, to where, he's only 6'1", maybe 6'2", something in that range. He's really a guard, but he grew up playing inside, so he's really comfortable. And like you said, he's a strong kid. So I'd love to get him out on the perimeter more, but, a lot of times with him and Burchell on the court at the same time, you know what, whoever has a better matchup, you go inside, right? I'd much rather have a big guy sucked out on the perimeter than have a big guy just sitting inside waiting for us to drive and help, right? So, Zach's a guy who could play inside and outside, but, he's a guy that improved a lot this summer. So, he's a guy that we're confident in. When he has the ball, we want him to look to score the ball. And not only that, he does a good job of putting pressure on the interior of the defense. So if they do help, he's more than a willing passer to get us some open looks from behind the arc too.
You mentioned Adam, 21 against Devils Lake, 22 against North, 25 against Davies. It just looks like he's that guy. He's in the zone. I mean, he's right now, and his teammates are finding him. They're trying to get him the ball and doing that great job. So is he just having that stretch where get him the ball? He's in the zone. He's got it right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And yes, he's in the zone. I think he's shooting maybe 57% from three right now, which is pretty remarkable.
Right.
But at the same time, he's shot 40% from three each of the past 2 years. So, yes, he's in the zone, but even when he's not in the zone, he's still a really good shooter. Yeah. So, I think his teammates have done a tremendous job of finding him. When a kid starts getting hot like that, they do get in the zone. You want him to have the ball, right? You want him to get those opportunities to put the ball in the hole, and I think his teammates have recognized that he's been playing out of his mind here. So we need to continue to do that. When we're running in transition, first person I'd like us to look at right now is Adam. Where's Adam? See if we can go get him an open three. We obviously trust all of our players to put the ball in the hole, but like I said, 57% from three. I mean, that's remarkable through 4 games, and it's not like that's only shooting 2 a game either.
Yes,
He's been higher volume shooting the ball. So.
And he's usually probably their better defenders probably on him, at least in these first 4 games. They've got somebody in his hip pocket constantly, and he's going to have a hand in his face. Davies game, there's an athletic team. That's a really good basketball team we saw here last night with Fargo Davies, number 3 in the state. And, boy, up and down the lineup, they just got a well-rounded ball club last night, and you saw it on the floor. You guys did some good things, but they just did things better.
Yeah.
How do you describe and talk about last night's game? Yeah, Adam had a great game, 25, but that was one of those games where you probably needed some help from the surrounding, from the cast of characters around him, if you will, is the supporting cast. Just a good ball club, but I don't think that game, now when you see him again later on, that could be an entirely different story.
Oh, yeah, it should be too. We really stressed, following up that game, talking about, we made a lot of the same little mistakes in this game against Davies as we did against other teams, but they're going to capitalize on it, right? And so, number one, our transition defense hasn't been very good in any of our games. Well, other teams haven't pushed the ball up like Davies have, and so they're going to punish us on the back end of that, right? This is the first time a team has really full court trapped us, right? Well, we had 22 turnovers at halftime.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a number you don't want to have for an entire game, let alone a half. So, big takeaways from that game is we got to be stronger with the basketball. And a lot of that comes down to our mentality when we have the basketball. And even when you're off it in the press, are you going to go look for the ball? Are you going to go cut to the ball? Or are you going to go float because you don't really want to deal with the pressure, and allow those kids to go play the passing lanes against us? So, we just, Davies just took so many more shots because we just turned it over so much. We're not going to be successful if we don't get shots up at the rim most of our possessions, and that just didn't happen against Fargo Davies.
And they had a high percentage because they had a lot of high percentage shots.
Yeah,
that's exactly why their shooting percentage was so good. They had a lot of high percentage shots.
Yep. They're a deadly team in transition. Whether that be off of turnovers or off of missed shots, they want to get out and run because they're a talented group. And so, naturally, if we turn the ball over or don't get back after a missed shot, they're going to score a high percentage of the time.
So now you take that, do that, and now you got Grand Forks Central on Friday night. That's the next important game for you guys coming up with the Knights here on Friday. Back on the road up to Grand Forks.
Yep. The next game's always the most important of the year. So I think we did a good job of turning the page here today at practice. Leaving. We obviously we don't want to just forget what happened last night. We want to learn, right? A lot of things that we did in practice today just had to do with fixing some little things that we consistently did poorly last night. And so that's going to carry over into the rest of the season and ultimately into tomorrow, right? Or not tomorrow,
Friday,
but on Friday, against Central. So, I think Friday will be a good challenge for us. I think the boys know that if we play well, realistically, we should be in a really good position to come out with a win.
Yeah, it'd be nice to get that win for the holiday break. Now, granted, I think you have a couple of games over the break, but let's worry about Central and get that W and get that first one. Is that key to just get that first win, and then things can take care of itself after that?
Yeah. I mean, winning a ball game can definitely give you a lot of confidence. Mm-hmm. There's so many things that can happen in a ball game, but even playing well and giving yourself, putting yourself in a position to win, mm-hmm. To an extent that can give you confidence too. Just knowing, okay, we went up to Devil's Lake and we lost an over. I think we were confident coming out of that game because we just watched all of these really small things that we could have done better in just one possession, and that could have been the difference in the ball game, right? Mm-hmm. A turnover in the first half could be the difference in a game. Yep. Not communicating a screen could be the difference in a game. So just looking at all those things and knowing that we were in that one possession game, knowing that against North we had our chances. If you just clean up one or two things, ultimately that game could have completely turned out a different, had a different outcome. Yep. So, I think just heading into Friday, I think the boys are confident knowing that if we limit some of these little things and we become a little bit more detail oriented, we're gonna be successful.
All right. Well, appreciate it, and looking forward to that. It'll be Friday night. 5:30 with the junior varsity game around 7:15 up at Grand Forks Central as the Highlanders taking on the Knights here on Friday night. Coach, thanks for stopping by. We'll talk to you again after the new year.
Yeah, appreciate it, Paul. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, and happy holidays.
Christmas.
And Merry Christmas, too. That is Coach Alex Quist from the Highlander boys basketball team, back with more of our Coach's Corner from the Hack here on the Highlander Activities Network. Welcome back to the Highlander Activity Network and our Coach's Corner here on this Wednesday night. Now we're going to get into girls basketball. Head coach Jimmy Howard from the Highlander girls joining us. Coach, how you doing?
Good.
The kids ready for the holidays?
Yeah.
We won't say what they're getting because they might be watching. Let's talk about the games. Again, you guys had Fargo North and Davies since the last time we chatted. Here against Fargo North, 14-point loss. But again, let's take looking at some positives in that game. What are some things? I think you're winning the turnover battle with these teams, and especially in the last couple of games.
Yeah. We had the turnovers. We had less than they did. And even in the second half, we hit our goal of having under 10.5. So taking care of the ball, that's been a huge thing. And now we got to start winning the rebounding battle. Trying to get extra shots, limiting their extra shots. But starting with just taking care of the basketball, that allows us to have more possessions, get some more shots. I'd like that when we get a turnover, that at times we could get some layups out of it and stuff. But you're limiting their possessions and more for yourself. So that's been huge. And then, now the rebounding has to kind of come with that. So we feel really good that if we can kind of correct the rebounding and we can win those turnover battles, then we can stick in games and have an opportunity at the end. And that's what we're looking for right now.
And you're getting scoring, too, from different sources. You're not getting having that one person that's lighting it up. I mean, Tessa leads against Fargo Davies.
Yeah, she played extremely well last night. The whole team did. It was good to see. I know the outcome doesn't look great and whatnot, but we really walked away from that game feeling like we're starting to turn a page and some things clicked for some girls, and we knocked down some threes, which we hadn't been, which really helps. And Tessa and Brooke led the way with scoring. Drew hit 3 threes, which were big. Dylan had a couple threes and some stuff inside, and then we just got some stuff from some other kids. Faith Peterson And so, we scored 63. That's our high for the season, and maybe the lid's kind of come off the basket a little bit for us, and we're starting to find our shots within our offense.
39 points in the second half, and that's obviously your best half of the season right there.
Yeah, and, we outscored them by 11. We held them to 28 in the second half. So, probably about the 7-minute mark of the game yesterday, we started to get tired. We had some foul trouble, and then not having Addie available, that's just one less sub to have. But, we watched on film, just a commitment to getting back and getting where we need to be. And that's kind of what led to a little bit of a run for them. And we just couldn't stop the bleeding kind of in the first half right there. But we came out in the second half, and I thought we put a really good half together. So there's a lot of positives out of that second half and early in the first half as well. And right now, every game, it's been one little stretch that we've given up something. Some games more points than others, but if you take away that one stretch, the games have been really competitive. It's not like we're giving up a stretch in the first half and then another big stretch in the second half. We just got to find a way to keep it from being such a big run every time. Yeah,
you're still looking for that full 36 minutes.
Yeah.
Is what coaches look for.
Yep.
Yeah, you're getting 18 good ones and 18, so looking for that 36.
Yep.
And now you get it only today, and now you go right back at it on Thursday. Is that good because you played well in that second half? Boy, we're right back at it here on Thursday night.
I think so. It'd be nice to be able to get a little more work done with some things that we need to correct. But, we watch film, and we try to point out some of our rotation problems that we were having. And then we tried to answer. Kids had a lot of questions today on just how they wanted to defend things. So, we had a practice plan. We kind of scrapped it. I thought maybe it was more valuable to answer the kids' questions if they were able to tell me exactly where offensive players are and how we wanted to defend that. So we really worked on rotations today and stuff, which I think was really beneficial. And then, just continuing to harp on we need to rebound. And we'll get a walkthrough tomorrow before the game so we can kind of go over some offensive stuff as well.
And staying out of foul trouble, is that key for you guys when you get into that rotation?
Yeah, once again, not having Addie, that's one less person in our rotation. So, yeah, staying out of foul trouble. But, some of our foul trouble is happening because we're not having great communication all the time on the perimeter, and we got someone helping on the backside, and they're just not there because maybe that's not their responsibility. Now they're trying to help, and or we're getting a little over aggressive because we're trying to cause a turnover or something. And we just got to try to play within ourselves a little bit and trust each other that we're going to do our rotations correctly and we're going to be where we're supposed to be, and hopefully that'll help take care of some of the foul issues. But and each game's different, depending on the refereeing group, what they're going to call.
Yeah.
So some games, the Devils Lake game here was really physical, and you could get away with a lot. Last night I thought there were stretches where it was kind of physical, and then there were stretches where they weren't going to let it be physical, and trying to adjust to what the refs are calling. So that can play into it as well.
What do you expect from Grand Forks Central here on Thursday?
They're going to play man. That's what I've seen on film at least. They're going to be aggressive. They're going to play hard, and we just got to match that. And we're looking for those 36 minutes of a complete game. And I thought our girls played really hard yesterday. I thought they tried to help each other, tried to pick each other up and play with that positive energy. And we can play with that positive energy, and do everything right. We should be there with a good chance for a win at the end of the night.
Well, let's get that. That'd be a nice Christmas present.
Yes.
Get win number one here, and that's here at the Hack tomorrow night. Tomorrow night. That'll be 7 o'clock, I think, tip off.
Yep.
For the varsity game. Of course, we'll have it here on the Highland Activity Network. Well, I guess let's just get that win, and we'll see what happens, and we'll talk to you after the new year, and hopefully a couple of wins when we get into 2022 that we're talking about.
Yeah.
And we'll see what happens. And but really, again, the bottom line last night, one thing, this, again, was a third-ranked team in the state you're playing in their gym. So you played another good, talented ball club that's got some experience. You can see that a lot in the EDC. There's a lot of experience. That was a good game. That's a game you can take away and say, hey, I like, yes, we lost, but that was I like that game.
Yeah, and we're not basing our season, our success off of wins and losses right now. We're trying to improve on what we're doing every night, playing with great energy and coming together. If we can do that, the wins and losses will take care of themselves. But if we concentrate too much on just trying to win games instead of doing, the small things right and making sure that we're constantly doing things, the way we want them done, the wins, it gets harder. It puts more pressure on you. We got to win this next game because we're chasing the win. We're chasing our rules. We're chasing playing a complete game. That's what we're chasing. And if we can get that, I think the wins and losses take care of themselves.
All right. Well, Coach, appreciate the time tonight. Good luck tomorrow. We'll talk to you then.
Thanks. Happy holidays, everyone, and go Highlanders.
There we go. Thanks, Coach. That's Coach Jimmy Howard from the Highlander Girls Basketball. We'll be back and wrap things up here on tonight's Coach's Corner here from the Hack on the Highlander Activity Network. Welcome back here to the Highlander Activity Network, our final segment tonight here on our Coach's Corner, and we're going to talk about what's coming up here on the Highlander Activity Network and also wrestling. Wrestlers, they were up in Grand Forks at the Sertoma tournament here last weekend and took sixth place in that tournament. Came up with wins over Foston, a very good team out of Minnesota. They lost to Long Prairie Griego Browerville. They were winners against Grand Forks Central, lost to Perham. Perham, the defending state champions in Minnesota, always has some solid wrestling, and then lost a tough 39-32 decision to Jamestown to finish sixth in the Sertoma tournament. So the Highlander wrestlers now are coming back here, and it is Saturday. This is a meet and a tournament you're not going to want to miss. This is the annual holiday tournament for the Highlander wrestlers. 16 teams are going to be here at the Hack. Wrestling gets started around 10 o'clock in the morning. 10:30 they'll have wrestling. They'll have the formats going here at the Hack. And from what I've heard and talking with people and know what teams are coming, this could be a precursor or at least a preview of the state tournament. We're going to see a lot of great wrestling, and we're going to have all-day coverage here on the Highlander Activity Network. Kirk Olson and myself, we will be covering the wrestling, and we'll have a full day of wrestling, and it starts again about 10 o'clock in the morning here at the Hack. 16 teams, and should be a fun day of wrestling. You're not going to want to miss it. Come on out. If you don't want to come out here live, again, you can enjoy all of the action right here on the Highlander Activity Network. And again, a reminder, YouTube. We are working on getting a YouTube channel, and right now, all of our games that we have done, everything we have done is archived on YouTube, but we want, in order to start streaming on YouTube, we need 1,000 subscribers. So we need 1,000 subscribers. Again, if you just go to that homepage at Highlanders.org and you click on the live, it's got a list of all of our streaming. You'll find Highlander activities, and you're going to want to click on that for YouTube activities. And get to that, get subscribed. As soon as we get 1,000 subscribers, then we can start streaming on YouTube, but not until. But again, all of the events that we have already done here on the Highlight Activity Network are archived on YouTube. So you're going to want to get that subscription, and we'll get to that 1,000, and we can start streaming on YouTube. But again, coming up, we've got basketball tomorrow night, and again, that's here at the Hack against Grand Forks Central. Friday night, we will have coverage of the gymnastics. Again, Jamestown, Dickinson, Grand Forks, and the Highlanders over the Youth Sports Complex. That gets started at 5 o'clock, and then all-day wrestling on Saturday the 18th. And then we've got basketball again coming up with the boys next Tuesday on the 21st. And gymnastics will have coverage of that blue and white meet on Monday night from the Youth Sports Complex. So a lot of stuff going on over the next few days, but we are going to take a break for the Coach's Corner as far as the next 2 Wednesdays will be off for the holidays, and then we'll be back January 5th at 6 o'clock right back here at the Hack and our next edition of Coach's Corner. And again, want to thank Alex Quiz, Johnny Tobler, and, of course, Jimmy Howard, our coaches joining us here tonight. Jaden Johnson, our cameraman and technical director here tonight. And, of course, all of us here from the Highlander Activity Network want to wish you and your family a happy year, and we will see you in 2022 with our next edition of Coach's Corner right here on the Highlander Activity Network.